Hi everyone, welcome to After Class with Ballet for All,
a podcast by two passionate adult ballerinas about all things adult ballet related.
and some random thoughts in between.
We're so glad you're here.
So grab your water bottle
Or a cup of coffee.
and join us for a quick chat after class. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you feeling? You did pretty well in point class today.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt like point was good. It's funny when you surprise yourself. I struggled a little bit in group classes, so I think coming into point class, I was like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to be today, but it was a good class. I felt like saw some improvement today, which was encouraging.
You kind of have to redeem yourself, like, I can do it, and I'm going to show you.
Exactly. So funny. One of the things that I thought was really good in class today, or interesting in class, was when you mentioned that all ballet turns are over 1 foot. And I had never really thought of that. But when you think about it, we really never do any turns in ballet with both feet on the ground, right?
Yeah, so everyone will say, no, but I do the chaînés. Yeah, but now let's go to the basics of chaîné. You start in first position, and the way you learn to do chaîné is by doing half a turn, half a turn. Let's say that you're going to turn towards the right, so you're going to bring your left leg, and you did half a turn, and now you're going to lift your right leg, and you're going to do another half a turn. And that's how you did full turn, and you have to lift one of the foot. Now let's go to piqué soutenu. You're going to piqué, you put your right leg in front of you, your body weight goes over the right leg, you turn towards the left side, and that's how you have to lift that other leg so you can change, yeah? So again, you're going to do piqué soutenu, you piqué towards the right, you put your right leg in front, you're going to transfer body weight over that leg, you lift left, and you turn towards the left side to continue the turn, isn't it? So at the end, you have to lift to one leg, even if it's a second.
Yeah, that was interesting because I think in doing soutenu specifically, it's like you kind of think of it as having both feet on the ground, but really you don't because you're lifting up that back foot and then, that becomes your front foot. But for that transition, the foot is off the ground. So you really are always on one leg. And I think even just keeping that in mind when you're doing turns where you might be thinking, oh, I have both feet on the ground. It's like, no. 1 foot should always be just off the ground when you're turning. So that was really helpful for me today. So that was a fun little nugget.
That's good. And I want to make sure that I do not accept constructive criticism to anyone that wants to come back to me and say, no, but we have turns over 2 legs. It's okay. I'm done. Finish with this topic. I understand that there is a lot of ballet masters and ballet teachers and maestros, but done. Turning over 1 leg.
Oh, it's funny. Don't come for us, people. Don't come for us if we're wrong. Just we don't know everything, but for the purposes of this discussion.
And we love it, and we like it, and that's fine.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about ballet clothes or ballet attires and why are they important. And if you are a beginner, how will you know what to wear to ballet class and how to choose those? So we actually got some questions from ballet beginners, and I'm going to read the first question, which is really interesting, and it just gives a very good start to this podcast today. And it said, hi, Yelena and Hannah. I'm new to ballet, and I have no idea what to wear to class. Can you give me the basic of ballet attire? And
yeah.
Okay, so Hannah, I know the basic of a ballet attire, but for you, for instance, you have to Google a little bit I did ballet as a kid, but actually, what do I wear to a ballet class?
Yeah, I think, and it's funny too, because you walk into a ballet store or a dance store. A lot of times it's not even a ballet specific. I know where I live, it's like a dance store. So there's all kinds of dance things, and you're looking at all of these items for sale and thinking, what do I need to buy for my first class? It's very overwhelming, and there's multiple kinds of shoes and leotards and tights and all these things. And so I'm excited to answer this one because I know it can be overwhelming. But I think the 3 main things are leotard, tights, and shoes. I think that those are the very basic core items. So maybe, Elena, we can start with leotards. You can kind of give us some thoughts on what a leotard is, what to look for when you're purchasing your first one, and why that matters.
So leotard is that close-fitted garment. Is gonna be the basic of your entire attire. So it looks like bathing suits, or how we do it in Australia, bathers. So it's just gonna be one piece garment that you're gonna wear. Now, I will prefer to be black for different reasons. First, it makes you feel more comfortable. Black kind of make everything to look more elongated, more supported. And then it makes the t-shirt to not get too distracted with the colors or the prints or whatever. It could be, if there are so many styles of leotard that you could even had high neck, short neck, long sleeve, short sleeves, not a sleeve, even a strapless. Like at this point, anything. I wouldn't recommend a strapless for ballet, but you could. And that's it. Leotard doesn't need to be complicated. It's just simple. If you get a leotard, black, which is look classic and very lovely, and your teachers are going to appreciate it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think trying on, I know there's a lot of things you can order online now, but for me personally, I would say that for your first leotard, if you can go to a dance store in person and try on, I think that that's really helpful because you'll get a feel for what style you're comfortable in. Sizing with ballet stuff, I'll just say it right now, especially for adults, can be very different and confusing from normal street clothes. It is all over the map. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm a small or a medium in street clothes. And then you're like, I'm an extra large in ballet clothes. What is going on? So I think trying on things in person, at least until you kind of know brands that you're familiar with. And then also, like you mentioned, there's so many different styles, and you might feel more comfortable in one that's a little more, has more coverage. Like put it on in the dressing room, move around, bend over, do all the things, move your arms and lift your arms above your head and make sure that you feel comfortable in it, because you don't want to be in class and be feeling like you're constantly having to adjust and like you're gonna fall out of your top, or like you're worried about your cleavage. Like there's just so many things, or riding up your butt. Like there's just so many things you can be distracted by with an improperly fitted leotard. So that's my humble opinion, is try on, especially for your first one. I think going to a store is the best. So tights, I know we had talked a little bit about that being one of the most important categories. So what's your take on tights? I know there's mainly pink and black, but I'm actually seeing now that there's even some other colors coming out. So what do you think about tights?
I will say so as an adult, for children, we wouldn't even ask thighs when they are little, because we want to really make sure we can see the entire legs. So then from not having any thighs the first 2 grades, they move to having pink thighs. So I would recommend pink, but it wouldn't make you feel comfortable. It will make you feel a little bit more exposed as an adult, at different body types, but not just the body type. Is you don't want to have all these like exposure right in your first class. So I could recommend to go black. It's not recommending, it's just matters of your personal, your personal
Preference. Yeah.
It's all matters of personal preference, right? But I will say, if you want to feel a little bit more comfortable, you can go with black thighs. But if you don't want to go with thighs, because still it's quite see-through even they are black, you can go with leggings. Now, make sure that your leggings are not these, the one that are very trendy, which I go one, and I'm going to tell you why they are not really good. It's those pants that Lululemon and everyone are having, that they are flare, right? So the legs have this flare at the end. Today in class actually happened to me that I kept pulling the legs up, and I have to bring them all the way to my knees. So my students, Hannah, Gisela, everyone had to see how I did the tandy, so that I did a good fit. So if me as a teacher, I'm concerned of whether you can see my legs or not when I'm demonstrating because of the pants, can you imagine, as your teacher and you be my student, how concerned I will be that I can't see what you're doing? So I will go for 5.
Yeah.
Like something that fits in your body, that you're gonna still move with, like really comfortable with a really nice flow of movement, but not too loose. So your teacher can make sure that give you feedback within your legs, stretching points, pointing your toes and all that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point because it's the same of what applies to leotard and tights with it being so fitted is that the main purpose in that is
Yeah.
that so your teacher can see your alignment and be able to really see what your body is doing to give you the right feedback. So it's not just the ballet aesthetic that we wear leotards and tights. It really does have function. So moving into shoes, I feel like this could be its own episode, which it will be. I think we already talked about the fact that we're going to do a whole episode just on ballet slippers because there's so many different styles, types, brands, all the things. So, but for someone who is looking to jump into their first class, what are your kind of basic recommendations for ballet slippers?
So yeah, a really quick note here is Hannah is in love with ballet shoes. Yeah, and she's in love with point shoes especially. We will get to that one. That's why we need to do a whole episode just to talk about shoes. There are so many options. First, you will say, but wait, I don't want to go and spend money on the ballet shoes. I would prefer to wear socks. And yes, you could wear socks, but the reality is they're very slippery. You will be able to do nothing. So try to go find a photo on Google what is the first position or the fifth position in ballet of legs and try to do it with socks. You will struggle, my friend. It's really difficult. They're very slippery. And ballet shoes exist for a reason. You can go to the cheapest one. You don't need to go to like, oh, let's get the most expensive brand. I don't going to mention anything here yet because we're going to talk about all the brands and everything that exists in another episode. But they are called ballet shoes or sleepers, which they also are known by sleepers. I know that by demi-point, but there is another type of shoes. So they are going to be lightweight. They are going to have very thin soles, yeah? And what it helps is first to keep your foot supported. As you're moving, you're going to be turning around. You don't want your toes, one like happened to me. I was doing a pirouette, and I left a toe behind as I was turning around. And it costed me 3 months recovering because I didn't broke my toe in that. And I was speeding on the grass with no shoes, with no nothing. So the toe stayed behind and I kept turning on the horse. So that's so painful. And I realized,
oh my gosh, I'm like, that's a terrible story.
I realized because I was walking, like I finished turning and playing with all my friends who were in the National Ballet School in Cuba. And because I was in a boarding school, I just put my thongs on or flip-flops, and I was walking around and I felt the toe falling off the slippers, like the flip-flops. And I'm like, what's going on? And it started to get big. And it's like the little toe, right? So it's big, it's falling off the flip-flop, and it started to be purple. I'm like, oh, this is hurting. It's like 15, 20 minutes later, I'm like, and everybody was just laughing. I was like 16 or 17. So, oh my God. So trust me, ballet shoes,
That's
please.
so sad.
Even if they are cheap from Amazon, it doesn't matter. They are still going to support you, protect you, and they exist for a reason, yeah? So I will say that, yeah, ballet shoes are that lightweight. They will have a thin, very thin sole, and you can find a good photo of ballet shoes, and there are so many, but the basic one works perfectly.
Yep. And if you do order online, again, like leotards, read the size chart, because one thing I think that is very confusing to beginners and is very confusing even still to me because it's different from different brands is that it's not the same as street shoe sizing. So I wear a 6.5 in street shoes, US sizing 6.5, and my ballet slippers that I currently wear are a 5. So it can be very different. So that's another one where if you are going to order online, read the size chart, because I would hate for you to order shoes and have them arrive and have them be completely too big or too small, because it's a little tricky. They like to trick us with ballet sizing. I don't know why they do that.
Definitely.
So another thing that I think is kind of a little add-on maybe that we could talk about is warm-ups, because that is something that you'll commonly see in class. A lot of times whether it's online or in person, you'll notice that a lot of people tend to arrive with some layers on, leg warmers, like sauna pants, sweatshirts. And I think that, for a beginner, you might not know why everyone is showing up looking like that. So you want to talk a little bit about warm-ups and what their purpose is. Obviously, kind of gives it away in the title, calling them warm-ups, but you can explain a little bit more the benefits.
Yeah, so exactly. When you get to ballet class, you have not much time to really warm up. You are an adult, you're coming from work, you barely had time to put your attire on, maybe a little bit of a bun or a quick ponytail. You need to be really warm. Like ballet, it's at another level. And when we said another level, is you are turning your hips outwards, you're having that rotation, you're doing plies, you're jumping, you're having all this impact. So your body needs to be 125 to 150 to 200% warm, but the first time that you do. And how you do that? By having all those layers on top of you and start to really do as much exercise. If you don't have time to warm up, then use the first 2 exercises, even 3 exercises with all these layers on you to warm up. Now, there is the leg warmers. They are great for your knee. They're great for your ankles. Then there are the little shoes that I don't even know how they call, but Hannah got them. Maggie has them too. So what are they called?
Booties. Yeah, warm-up booties.
Oh, I never had them. And I love them. They look so cute, but they're so useful. Like you just can use them to your first exercise and just Google what they look like. You will see how cute they are. And now these are add-ons. You don't need to buy it for your first class, but definitely having all these little bit of pieces, it will keep you safe, but will also bring you to the last kind of not question, but topic that we would like to bring, which is why it's so important to have the ballet attire, like not the right, need the perfect either, but why it's so important and what is the mental and like the health, the mental impact of it, the healthy impact that it has on you. Hannah, for you, because I have been dancing ballet my entire life, but for you as an adult, you have a collection, a gorgeous collection of leotards and skirts and thighs and all the warmers and the little like sleeves on and all that. So why? Why do you have such a big collection? And it's like, I will understand how everyone slowly we make a collection like Hannah. And not just because you want to spend money, it's because there is something else behind it.
Yeah. Well, the short answer is it's an addiction. So once you start, you can't stop. So that's the short answer. But the serious answer is I think really it helps me it's part of like the mental preparation for class. I was actually even talking to one of my other teachers, so I take in-person class with, about how there's something about getting dressed for class and putting on the leotard and the tights and putting my hair back in a bun and coming to class dressed for what we're about to do, that it makes me show up in a certain mindset, prepared to work. And I think it's interesting because I know you and I have talked about this, Yelena, about just like the psychology behind getting ready and how even like I remember during COVID, a lot of psychologists were talking about how if you could maintain your habits of waking up, taking a shower, and putting on your work clothes, and, you know, for women, if it's like doing your hair, putting on some makeup, even though you weren't going to leave the house, there's something about that that helps you to maintain healthy psychology and have like a discipline and a focus that's really good for us. And so I think the same for me definitely applies for ballet, is it's part of the whole getting ready to come into class, to do my best, and to show up and be disciplined. And so that for me, I definitely feel that when I get ready for class.
Yeah, and for instance, we are learning online. Like we are doing online classes, so we don't commute anywhere. I'm teaching from my garage, you're learning from your garage. And the same way, I wanted to make the space more appealing visually, not just for my YouTube videos or for you guys to like the studio, but I did it because I wanted the studio to make me feel like I really want to teach. I have to do exactly the same for the clothes. Like I do feel exactly the same. I wake up every morning. I do my ballet bun. I put my leotards. I put my little skirt or my pants, which I'm obsessed with these pants at the moment. I'm not gonna change it for the next month or so, but I do change all the leotards every day, and I have again different colors and all that, and it just gives you, okay, now I'm gonna do ballet. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna enjoy, even though I didn't leave home, even though I'm in my garage, in my living room, and in my bathroom. But you're doing ballet, and it changes. And the other thing is that it's really cute as well. They're cute clothes. They're really cute. And oh my God, they look so wonderful. And it makes you look like a real ballerina.
I think it's just a way of really getting in the mindset and feeling the part. Especially when you're new and you're coming to class, it's already a little bit nerve-wracking. You're already a little bit nervous. You might feel like you don't have a lot of confidence, but I do think there's something about showing up at least in the leotard, in the tights with the shoes that I think immediately kind of gives you a little bit more confidence, makes you feel a little bit more ready to do it. So I think that's one of the reasons it's important. And then, you know, like we talked about earlier, it's for being able to move freely. There's, you know, just all kinds of benefits, but I do think the psychological ones are really important, and I definitely experienced those myself. So
definitely, if you just don't know where to start, you just need to go simple. One leotard, either thighs or leggings. Everyone has leggings at home, and just wear ballet shoes if you can, or buy them as soon as possible. You're really gonna get serious with ballet, and that's it. And that's everything you need to start classes. Simple, easy, and now just take the step forward and go for it and start making your dream come true. If you're listening to this podcast, because you've been thinking of doing it if you're not already doing it. So go forward. Just do it.
Yeah. I hope this was helpful. And we, like we mentioned, are going to have a couple more upcoming episodes that are a little bit of a deeper dive into specific topics about leotards, shoes, different things like that. So stay tuned for those. But thank you guys so much for listening, and we hope this was helpful.
Yay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to After Class with Ballet for All.
Join the community on YouTube and Instagram, or come dance with us, our weekly Zoom classes for adult ballerinas like you.
Links included in the episode description. Special thank you to our sponsors.
See you next time after class. Podcast produced by Mission Bridge Media.